Rens Darwin Andales.
I am Ericka Bengco.
I am Cathlyn Bodino.
I am Jorelle and Laurel.
Resistance is a measure of the opposition to current flow in an electrical circuit. And today, we'll be discussing quite a few interesting properties in its history. The resistance was discovered by the year 1827 from George Simon Ohm. Unit of resistance is named in his honor. He was a mathematician and published so many research papers on conduction of heat in molded circuits, and he also presented the Ohms Law. After this, so many resistors are developed on the basis of their manufacturing material. Currently, we have been using so many resistors in electronic and electrical systems. Resistors are important to act to reduce current flow and at the same time act to lower voltage levels within circuits. The practical applications of resistors in our daily life play a fundamental role in our electronic components. For example, is our laptop charger. It has resistors for controlling current flow through different components. Just like the laptop, a mobile phone charger also contains a number of resistors that are responsible for maintaining the required amount of current.
Let's talk about voltage. Alessandro Giuseppe Antonio Anastasio Volta, or also known as Alessandro Volta, an Italian physicist, chemist, and lay Catholic who was a pioneer of electricity and power. He is credited as the inventor of electric battery and the discoverer of methane. In 1778, Volta discovered that the electrical potential, we now often call this the voltage, in a potential capacitor is directly proportional to electrical change. Voltage is what pushes electrons around a circuit. It behaves like a pushing force, forcing electrons to start moving around, which creates an electric current. Voltage can use to power motors, light bulbs, electronics, and other things. Another example of what voltage can do is to carry useful information. Different voltage can use as electrical signals that represents data. It is used to power things that draw high amounts of current but can also use as a signal and almost no current flows at all. Create the changing voltage with a transmitter and detect the changing voltage with a suitable receiver.
Who invented electricity? Well, let me tell you that electricity is a form of energy and it occurs in nature, so it was not invented. In about 600 BC, the ancient Greek discovered that rubbing fur on amber or fossilized tree resin caused an attraction between the two, and what the Greeks discovered was actually static electricity. The year 1600s, English physician William Gilbert used the Latin word electrus to describe the force that exert when rubbed against each other. Few years later, Thomas Brown, who is an English scientist, wrote several books and used the word electricity to describe his investigations based on Gilbert's work. In 1752, Benjamin Franklin ran his famous kite experiment that sparked the discovery of electricity. As a prominent American scientist and one of the America's founding fathers, Franklin tied a key to a kite string during a thunderstorm and proved that static electricity and lightning were one and the same thing. Following the historic result, people were eager to try to harness the power of electricity for the primary goal of lighting their homes in a cheap and safe way instead of oil and gas lamps, which were flammable and dangerous. Several give credit to Benjamin Franklin for discovering electricity, but his experiments only helped establish the connection between lightning and electricity. Current is one of the most important and fundamental elements within electrical and electronic technology. The current flowing in a circuit can be used in a variety of ways, from generating heat to causing circuits to switch, or information to be stored in an integrated circuit. Electric current is the flow of electrons through a complete circuit of conductors. It is used to power everything from our lights to our train. Application of electric current in electric heater. A coil made of high resistance nichrome wire is used in an electric heater formed of ceramic or china clay. When current travels through the coil, it heats up.
There are three properties that describes Ohm's law. These are voltage, current, and resistance. So let's dive into why Ohm's law is so important in the world of electronics and how we can use it ourselves. But before that, who developed Ohm's law? Ohm's law was experimentally found by a German physicist named George Ohm in 1827. This law states that voltage, current, and resistance are all related. The current flowing in a circuit is directly proportional to the applied voltage and inversely proportional to the resistance in the circuit. This basic relationship, known as Ohm's law, is one of the most fundamental and important laws in the field of electricity and electronics. There are some useful applications of Ohm's law. These are electronic fan, electronic heaters, and fuses. Fuses are the protection component that limit the amount of current flowing through the circuit and to establish a certain amount of voltage. They are connected in a series in the device. Ohm's law is used to figure out which resistors are needed. Whether power is used in mechanical environment or an electrical environment, the definition of power is still the same. Electric power is the rate per unit time at which electrical energy is transferred by an electrical circuit. It is the rate of doing work. It is found that when a current flows through a resistor, electrical energy is converted into heat. This fact is used by electrical heaters, which consist of a resistor which current flows. Light bulbs use the same principle, heating and produces light. The unit of power is watt, and it's named after the Scottish engineer James Watt, known for inventing different types of steam engines and became the father of the modern steam engines. His contribution kick-started the entire Industrial Revolution. We use electricity for almost everything we do. We use it for devices that we are increasingly dependent on. We use it for home appliances to keep our lives comfortable. The discovery of electricity keeps our life functioning.
A resistor color code is used to indicate the values or functions of resistors. They are usually very tiny and it is challenging to print resistance values on them. So, color bands are printed on them to represent resistor's resistive value and its percentage of tolerance with the physical size of the resistor indicating its wattage rating. Before industry standards were established, each manufacturer used their own unique system for color coding or marking their components. In the 1920s, the RMA resistor code was developed by the Radio Manufacturers Association as a fixed resistor coloring code marking. While in 1930, the first radios with RMA color-coded resistors were built. The chart shows how to determine the resistance and tolerance for resistors. The table can also be used to specify the color of the bands when the values are known. An automatic resistor calculator can be used to quickly find the resistor values.